Yo, welcome back, guys. Today is, Thursday, October 30th. It is Friday for me, but Thursday, October 30th is the day of this trade. Um, yeah, we took a little bit of a loss, but the trade was still relatively, probably like A grade, I would say. So not too upset about it. There's nothing I can really do. It's one of those ones where I kind of just have to accept it. Um, but overall, decent play. My target was hit and whatnot. But, anyways, let's get into it. So, coming into the day, I was pretty bearish actually. We finally got, after FOMC on Wednesday, we finally had like an actual break of structure on the higher time frames, and we were looking pretty bearish. For example, if I try to find this, I think, yeah, market open was this candle here. But I don't even think we had gone and swept any lows yet. But at market open, we opened all the way up here. And we came down and swept all the sell side here. ES was nearly all the way to the new wick opening gap. But it actually, I don't think it ended up touching it at all. But I was looking for, like, my main draw higher time frame was this liquidity void, as well as sell side on the way there. So yeah, we swept all the sell side on the way down. We created an SMT, and I think we were also bouncing out of a 4-hour right here. This 4-hour gap right here. I'll just illustrate it real quick. So we had that 4-hour gap we were bouncing out of, and 4-hour gap. And here is when I wanted to take some longs, but because of this entire leg, there wasn't really anything that I could have taken other than this 5 minute here. But we closed above, which is fine, but we invalidated by sweeping these highs whilst closing. I know Dodgy, I think he took this 5 minute, but because I was bearish on the day, I really didn't trust that. Like, there was just no way for me to know for sure if we weren't just gonna inverse this one, but then bounce out of this one and just continue lower from here, So I had to wait for the last 5 minute of the leg, but then it was invalidated, so no long there. And then going forward, I marked out some unmitigated 15 minutes. This one had been unmitigated at the time. We swept some relative equal highs up here. And I thought, okay, well, if we are to continue bullish, what would we need to do? We would need to retrace to either a 5 or 15 minutes. So I marked out this 5 minute right here. And marked out this 5 minute. And I thought, okay, well, we need to come back into this 5 minute and then prove to me that we want to go long. And we did end up actually coming back into this 5 minute, right? And we swept some minor sell side, but there was no entry here. And also, one of the reasons I don't like longing here is because we're so high in this new range that we just made. We're still relatively high. We didn't hit that discount zone, and on top of that, we just left a protected high, sweeping a high inside of a 15-minute kind of. This is relatively, I feel like it would be less of an A plus target, I guess is one way to put it. Um, so I just didn't really like longs here, and I still had my bearish bias, and I thought that we swept sell side and then we swept buy side. We actually were bouncing out of something here. Um, yeah, and we were bouncing out of a 1 hour as well. So I tried to remain relatively higher time frame, and the higher time frame still seemed overall pretty bearish. So I despite there may have potentially may have been a long in here, like there was probably a 30-second, but not there wasn't even a 30-second, so there was absolutely nothing I could have taken there. But if there was like a 1 minute here for whatever reason, I don't think I would have taken it because of those reasons. So I was still pretty bearish, and what I was looking for was some sort of an entry, because I knew like we were in this 5 minute at this point, right? But there was this unmitigated 5 minute down here. Right? And that was going to act as my target, kind of. So my plan was, okay, I just need an entry here because there wasn't really anything in the previous leg that I liked. I don't even think there was a 30-second. Yeah, there was a 30-second right here, but I guess I could have taken that, but I tried to steer away from the 30-second. So I took a 1 minute right here, market order sell right here, and I had my stop at this fair value gap. I think it was about right here. I didn't want to have a 40-point stop. But yeah, that was my loss right there. And it was unfortunate because I was gonna go what was it, break even here. I think I only took this on 1 mini, but I was gonna go break even here and then target like filling most of this. But I think I had, actually my target was around here somewhere, like this 1 minute order block, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and it was also around consequent encroachment of this 5 minute that we were targeting. So overall, I think this play was really good. I mean, we had what? Buy sell liquidity sweep, resistance from 15-minute and a 1 hour. Higher time frame was bearish. Still, this had a good reaction as well, which is a good thing to note. We had unmitigated gaps to target, good break even, and then the only flaws I'd say were we had a mediocre entry. It wasn't very like close in proximity, and it wasn't even in the previous leg. So mediocre entry, and also because of our entry, our stop loss was put further away, so more risk than normal. And what else? Is there anything else in here? Yeah, I guess there wasn't very much structure in here. Lack of structure, because usually the trades that I see the most success with, there's usually something like Where's the pen? There's usually something that, like, we have the buy side sweep, then we come down, we come back up, we come down, and then maybe like in here or something, there's like a gap that we inverse rather than over here on a distant leg. So like we develop, like what I'm saying is we sweep, and then because there's so much of this empty range, we generate like a little bit of structure like we were doing here, but we didn't have, like if we had a fair value gap right here, this would have been perfect, right? Target here, stop loss at the body, candle body, targeting here, and it would have been absolutely beautiful. Probably would have gone break even at some point here somewhere. But anyway, like I'm just talking about the entry in this case. The entry here would have been a lot better. Like regardless of whether or not there was a break even, this entry would have been much better than this entry. And honestly, I was stretching it a little bit with this entry. I was just really confident in my target. That's the main thing. Is I was confident in my target, and that's why I took this. I thought, okay, well, we swept. We generated a little bit of structure, and despite the lack of fair value gaps up here, we still like. There's not really anywhere else for us to go. My bias is still bearish, etc., etc. So yeah, that was my thinking there, and yeah, so unfortunate. It is what it is. Like in hindsight, yes, like maybe putting my stop loss above this fair value gap right here would have been best, but it's a breakaway gap, so I kind of wanted it to, like I wanted it to act as a breakaway gap. So I didn't want to see us really fill it at all. But it is what it is. Maybe I should have had stop loss above it anyway, but my entry was so low. So there was a couple of things wrong a couple of things I did wrong here for sure. Maybe the best thing would have been to just not take anything because there was no fair value gap here. But I mean, we're learning still. There's always something to learn. So I think the reason that I lost this was I tried, like even though my target was right and whatnot, I had to allocate so much risk because of where I entered. Had I just like not taken this trade and instead like waited, or if I had only taken a trade had there been a fair value gap like this here, I wouldn't have lost and it would have been really A plus. So that's what I'm learning from this one is good target and whatnot, but if I do take plays like this, I need to be prepared to have to allocate more risk because I'm lower in discount shorting, So yeah, I think that's all I got. Tomorrow, I don't think we have much news. Yeah, pretty much the same. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. I'll probably take something. I really want to get to at least above 2K tomorrow, so that we only have $1,000 left on our combine for next week, which is more or less 2 trades, hopefully even one. So yeah, overall though, not a terrible week. Still, I'm struggling. I don't know really what's going on, but yeah, we'll get it. We'll get there. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate it and stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.